Hi, my name is Randy Scott. I am a full time radio personality and voice talent, and I just got back from my first ever voiceover Atlanta conference, and I'm giving you the first timer's guide to voiceover Atlanta, in my humble opinion. You ready? Okay, so you hear words like it's overwhelming, take breaks, wear comfortable shoes, it's like drinking from a fire hose. Everyone's so nice and approachable. Well, let me tell you, all of that is 100% absolutely true. Actually, it was an incredible experience, and all the words that I heard and phrases and different things were actually spot on. And I really appreciate people saying that. So, you might be asking, well, why do we need this? Well, I just want to tell you about my experience of this past 2025 VoiceOver Atlanta. Let me first say that Anna and J. Michael Collins put on an incredible event. Wow, a well oiled machine at the Hilton in Atlanta. I was truly amazed that they were able to pull this off with as many speakers and people that came. Some of the many highlights: Glenn Morshower, who actually played Aaron Pierce in 24, was on hand, and I had a chance to meet him. And he is so serious in so many roles that I've known him in, but was hilarious and told some of the best stories on how he auditions. It's one of those you should have been there, and I don't want to tell the man's story, but pretty incredible for sure. I arrived on Wednesday. Now, Thursday was registration and X sessions. X sessions are something that cost extra. I did not do any X sessions for my first voiceover Atlanta. Do I regret not doing any? Not really. I felt like there was enough information for a first timer to go around. But if there is some of those X sessions or one of those coaches or one of those speakers that you want, just, not one on one, but pretty much, four or five or 10 on one, you have a connection there. It's well worth it, and I heard great things about many of the X sessions. I did not take any. So Thursday, I didn't have much to do other than register. I arrived Wednesday, had some travel fun, went through security twice. That's my own thing. Got locked into the VRBO for like 45 minutes. Yeah, there I am, really, really sad there for a few minutes, but it did eventually get in and get over to the Hilton. Um, Let me first commend Tiffany and Jared Breschers for heading up the Voice Guide Voice Cadet program. I highly recommend it. So it basically sets you up with someone who's been there before and knows what to expect. And you can think you know everything going in, but having someone there to advocate for you and to introduce you to people is amazing. So first of all, my guy was Marco. Marco Ragazio. I don't think I ever said his last name, so hopefully, Marco, I got that right. But either way, he's out of the Pittsburgh area. He had myself and Brian. Ironically, Brian lives about 30 minutes from me, which was just kind of a weird thing to find out throughout this whole process. But I was really amazed by, he was able to say hi. He was there. We had a Zoom session the night before, so kind of set some expectations there. And you have someone to meet. So if you're going to this and you don't know anyone, you have someone that's there that can introduce you to a couple of people right out of the gate and kind of get you comfortable, which I really appreciated from him. So he was there if I needed anything. We had a couple of meals together, and just an awesome guy, and it was great to meet him and Brian. A few surprises I think that I was taking away was there's so many people from so many different parts of the world, obviously, especially in America, but also different places on the journey. So there were a lot of people there that were brand new, a lot of people that were considering even the industry, and some that maybe had been coaching for a year and this was their launch pad to get going and really get started. So everybody's journey is their own. And I was just really surprised how many new people were there because I was someone who kind of watched it from afar for a couple years and then really took an interest in it last year. And I didn't necessarily have FOMO, but it was one of those things where I just felt like, okay, that's something I've got to at least experience in person for once. So I've been paying a little closer attention the last few years, and I decided to go. I was happy. I met so many people. I think that's really the cool thing. I mean, it is cliche, but one of my things was always, hey, here's where I'm from, my name, here's my journey. What's your story? Yeah, just getting name, hometown, where they are on their journey, why they're doing it, that sort of thing can just open the doors and connected with so many people that way. A couple interactions that I had. There is one person in particular that, let me just be honest, I wasn't like really looking forward to seeing. It's nothing personal. It's just sometimes they rub me the wrong way with some of their content and stuff, which, it happens. You can't be everything to everybody. But it was interesting to meet this person and interact and have a conversation. I was actually really impressed when you get that human connection. Not that I still agree or disagree with everything they say or how they go about things, but it was just really cool to humanize that person and have that situation. Also, I think I avoided an awkward moment where I said, thank you for the no you gave me. Sometimes it doesn't always go your way in this business. So sometimes you're going to run into people that maybe had to say no to you, which I honestly said, hey, that stung for 24 hours. And then I started to kind of self reflect and try to see your perspective. And I just wanted to come, and this may sound weird, but thank you for your no. You showed a lot of integrity, and it wasn't just a money grab, which I really appreciated. I hope they kind of knew that I was coming from like a good place. Got to talk with a coach that I have worked with in the past year, Mark Ryder. There he is. Look at those handsome devils. So working with him and actually getting to see him and spend a couple of minutes and snap that photo was really cool. It was weird. He just sat next to me in the middle of a panel at one time, and I was like, oh, I guess we're gonna have this conversation, which was great. I wanted to make it easy to talk to him, so that worked out. The exhibition hall with a lot of booths and things were nice. Got to talk with Heidi Rue. Did not meet her husband, Mike, but was really impressed with her. She was super kind and actually followed up with me after and was kind to say that it was a good interaction, and we just had some fun. A couple other booths that were there. I ended up joining Nava. Just felt really compelled to join after, seeing firsthand what they do for all of us. So it was really cool. So I thought it was a worthy cause to join. There were a few people I really would have liked to meet, but I wanted it to be organic. I didn't want it to be forced, and you don't want to be rude and force yourself on people. It's pretty simple stuff. You're not going to interrupt a conversation. A couple of people I wanted to say hi to, I didn't really get a chance because people were always around them, which is great. That means they're dynamic people, and they're always going to, have people around them, which was fine. So I was a little disappointed I didn't get to meet a couple, but, for the most part, there's 1,000 people there. You're not going to see everyone you want to see or get a chance to talk to everyone. It was a great mix of fellow voice actors, casting directors, agents, services. So much was there for you to kind of take in. One of the programs I decided to do was the Team Challenge. Now, it was a great experience, don't get me wrong, but I did feel like it took me away from some of the other things that I could have been at because it was very time consuming. Basically, it's a great idea to take a nonprofit in the Atlanta region, and we were able to do it with Project, a Powerful Project was the name of it, which is an organization in Atlanta that really puts the mental health of young people, teens and young adults, and takes it seriously and makes sure that they have counseling in case they don't have the resources to get it. A very cool thing. There were 9 teams. We had 7 in our team. We did not win the challenge, which would have been awesome, but it was rewarding in a sense. I did feel like I probably volunteered to do too much because I decided to use my background to put it all together. It's tough too with 7 of us, all creatives, all used to kind of working alone or taking direction. Very often not responding if you're in a directed session, these sorts of things. So for 7 creatives to get together and chat to try and figure out a 30-second PSA was the objective, and try to get their mission and everything in 30 seconds and try to use, I believe it was at least 3 voices or 4 voices. And we had 7, so unfortunately some people's voices didn't get to be a part of it. I feel like I should have probably stepped back in hindsight and not voiced it, just produced it. But we spent like 2.5 hours trying to figure out what we were going to do. And then, it was great. Everyone in the group was super creative and super good at what they do. So it was cool to connect with like-minded people like that. A lot of breakout sessions. So I did several. There was Karen Gilfrey. I did a couple with her, a political breakout, and also really talking about time efficiency and stuff. So that was important. Some brand stuff with Celia Siegel's team. Jess and Jill did a great job talking about branding. We also had Jeff Howe. I went to a couple of his. He was outstanding. Tracy Lindley, who's one of those people I wanted to meet, but she was always having people around her. She did a great job with her LinkedIn breakout session. An auto session with Kevin Kilpatrick. Wow, that guy is impressive. So much energy, so much passion for him. A couple others. Speaking with authority, which is perfect timing for my voice to crap up, whatever you want to say. Kay Bess did that one. And then there was one that was unique called pretty much dissecting the conversation. I think it was Conversational Connoisseur with Joe Zyja, who was just basically starting to come up with this idea of how we talk and this sort of thing just in a conversation outside of VO and how we bring it into VO. So it was interesting. Panels were more to inspire, I think, and see, all of the giants, the juggernauts. So it was cool to see them and get their perspective. But I feel like I got a little bit more out of the breakouts just because it was a little more centralized where, those are where we want to be. How do we get there in the panels? But the others were just trying to really attack some certain things that you can get to work on. The venue, I mentioned it earlier, but the Hilton was perfect. Atlanta, if you want to go to VO Atlanta and experience Atlanta, you're not gonna. You're going to be like 20 minutes outside the city. I didn't see a skyscraper other than in the plane and leaving the whole time I was there. I mean, obviously it's a big city, and we were in technically the city, but a suburb. But it was great. You're right by the airport, and you're there to get your work in and figure out a lot of stuff. So it wasn't the end of the world. But sometimes when I go to a city, I like to see the city. But they have this well-oiled machine there that was truly on point for JMC and Anna. I stayed off campus. A lot of people stayed in hotels around or the Hilton. I stayed in a VRBO with a couple of strangers. I had worked with George the Tech, George Whittam, a couple of times. Great sound engineer and just an incredibly great guy that decided to book this place. Rob Smith was the other guy. We didn't miss anything, I didn't feel like. We were where we needed to be. We were at the Hilton when we needed to be there, and then we could go home and just chill and hang out. And those two guys were great, just great humans, and they made the experience even that much better. Food, Waffle House. I did 2 trips to there. Malone Steakhouse was good. They provided lunch a couple times at the venue. Something I considered a little late, and after talking to a friend after it, was dress. Many of the reasons I'm wearing a collared shirt for this video. I am used to dressing really comfortable, and I think a lot of people are. But like one day I had a t-shirt on that said, "We're having a good time." Dusty Slay, one of my favorite comedians. It actually, I met somebody that knew Dusty because I had the shirt on. But anyway, it's one of those things where maybe I would have aired more on business than casual. I was more casual, let's see, business casual, but either way, maybe step it up a little bit. That would probably be the only thing I would change about that. Just, look a little more presentable. You do have a lot of people there, a lot of professional people there, and you want to make a good impression. Last points as I wrap up, which turned out to be a much longer video than I thought. I'm so sorry for that. It was an incredible experience. I think if you have the resources to go. I may be back next year. I don't know for sure. This may be one of those things where I'm only going to do it every couple years, but it was invigorating. It was inspiring. And just to be with like-minded people. And I made so many connections with some really great people that I'm going to stay in touch with, which I think is awesome. Also, just to be more focused and be more efficient are the takeaways that I had from VO Atlanta. So highly recommend. It was a good time. And if I connected with you there, it was awesome. Thank you so much. And looking forward to the next one. Maybe next year, maybe not, sometime soon. But VO Atlanta, highly recommend. 10 out of 10.